Now, when you saw Trump got elected, did you know that you were going to get out on the day he got sworn in, or is that
Uh,
just speculation?
yeah, there was a lot of speculation. The speculation was he was going to immediately pardon everyone who wasn't violent. Now, I didn't do anything violent per se, the way you and I would use the word violent, but in legal terms, there's what's violent in legal terms, not necessarily violent in colloquial terms. So I wasn't sure if holding a policeman's officer's hand for 2.5 seconds, his wrist, qualified as violent. I didn't know how that would be classified. So I wasn't sure if he was going to be pardoned on January 6th or not. Sorry, on January 20th. I figured though, worst comes to worst, I got a 4-month sentence with First Step Act credits. I had like 2 or 3 weeks knocked off my sentence. So worst comes to worst, I would have had another 2 or 3 weeks in jail. I think 3 more weeks in jail. So I wasn't really so concerned. I just kind of I thought it would be pretty neat to have the story I was pardoned by President Trump, but I wasn't banking on it. A lot of other people were like, "Oh, you're gonna get out today. You're gonna get out today." I was like, "We'll see, we'll see." I didn't want to get my hopes up or anything. And yeah, sure enough, someone's like, "No, you're definitely getting out tonight." It was 8 o'clock. I'm like, "No, we'll see." Like, not we'll see. I just saw it on the news. They said everyone's been either pardoned or commuted. I was like, "Okay, if everyone's been pardoned or commuted, I belong to everybody." So
How did you find out that you were getting pardoned?
people were watching the news. I was in the gym playing, I think, soccer or something, or maybe
No,
pickleball.
but like from the actual guards. I know you were just saying about like
Oh,
the
so yeah, so
people.
that was on TV. So then I knew more or less I was getting out. I just didn't know when, because it could have been that day, it could be next week, because then the BOP, they don't always do everything right away. A CEO came over to me, correctional officer came over to me like around 10:30, saying, "If we release you tonight, you have someone to take you home." I was like, "Well, if you tell me when, then yeah, but if not," they're like, "Well, call your mother, tell her to be on standby, not to go to sleep." Fine, I call my mother. We'll know within like the hour or so. We'll have like a list from Washington. We don't have the list yet. Like an hour and a half passes. They don't tell me anything. I asked the guard, "No, we don't know anything yet from Washington." I called my mother. I said, "They're not letting me out tonight. You could go to sleep. It's not happening." But then around 1 o'clock, they come to my bed and said, "Resnick." I said, "Yeah." They said, "Go to R&D, which is release and delivery." I said, "With my stuff?" They said, "Yeah, with your stuff." So okay, then I knew I was going. Um,
Wait, they actually booted you that night? I'm actually shocked knowing the BOP and they weren't playing around, but normally it's like the next morning, or I've heard a lot of cases when even when a court gets I had these two brothers that I interviewed, they got a pardon from Trump. They had life in prison. They didn't get out until the next day after the pardon. So this is
Yeah,
interesting.
there were a few people who got out a few days later. I think the DC jail didn't let out, or prison didn't let people out right away.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know how it worked out. But yeah, 1:30 in the morning, I was let out in 3-degree weather in a t-shirt because you can't keep your prison coats. And I don't own anything. I mean, wasn't there long enough. I had not bought a sweatshirt or something. I only owned that one gray t-shirt I bought from the commissary. So they told me to take off my coat. I went out in 3-degree weather. They didn't let me even call my mother, which was bizarre. It's like, I
So
don't
they
know.
just said go. That's it.